just knocked out. So having a bit of a rough morning, just not feeling great. So I figured go for a long walk. That usually makes me feel better. And why not do some live streaming? I do apologize. You'll probably hear some wind in my little earbud here. And this is obviously different than what I usually do when I'm in my little home office streaming and putting stuff up. But wanted to check in with you guys. We have had a lot of interest and a lot of ticket sales for Sync Up already. So I'm really just blown away and excited by that. I just could not believe. Cigar Face, what's up, man? Could not believe how many of our members have already gotten their, primarily the VIP tickets actually, which is sort of the top tier offering that I gave with this event, which gets you at the front of the room, front row, and at that dinner with the library CEOs that are going to be attending. So that's going to be an awesome, awesome time. Right now we're up to about, I think, 17 people that are buying in-person tickets. So whether that's the basic in-person all the way up to premium and VIP, we have about 17 of you, so far that are in. And a lot of virtual tickets. I knew that would be one of the big ones just because I know a lot of you guys traveling and distance and, you know, all the extra expenses for traveling. I totally understand that it's not easy to get to events all the time. But I created that virtual ticket just for you. If you're watching this and you want to be a part of this, but you just can't make it there, there is an option for you. And that virtual ticket does have an optional upgrade where you can basically send your music to these library CEOs and have a guarantee that they're going to listen to your music. That's the big advantage of this event versus sending your music off to libraries, you know, and maybe recently you've been finding that they just say no thanks, but you don't even know if they really listen to it, or they just don't get back to you and you're like, man, are these people even listening to what I'm doing? It's really frustrating. And that's what the last two videos I put up were really about, was being in that place of just, I don't know, you know, it gets to a point where you give into some despair because you feel like, well, what the hell, you know, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm putting together some music, emailing them in the professional way, coming to them with a mindset, and I'm getting crickets. So what's going on here? And it is one of the most frustrating parts about our business. There's just no getting around that. I can't do anything really about that part of the business. There's just a lot of composers, there's a lot of producers, and there's only so many libraries, and they can only get to so many submissions, and they can only take on so many producers at a certain time. But there are enough libraries, and if you have the mindset that you will do well at this and you will succeed, it's just persistence. That's the only thing you have to do, is keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up. And then when you get tired of doing that, keep showing up. That's pretty much it. That was the only way that I persisted through all of the disappointing royalty checks, rejections, being ignored, getting skipped over from custom opportunities. That's the only way I got to any sort of income in this business. Was I just said, well, that sucks. Licked my wounds, picked myself back up and said, let's just keep going. Let's just keep showing up. Let's keep doing this. I think there's something here for me. I think I can do this. And that phrase I just used, I think I can do this, is actually the theme of the first presentation I'm going to give at Sync Up. I actually was working on the slides yesterday. I think I'm way ahead of myself, but I just started getting excited seeing all these people signing up for it, knowing that there's going to be real human beings in the room with me. And it just got a fire lit under my butt. And I was like, let's start making this PowerPoint presentation and let's start getting this, what do I want to say? What do I want to say to you guys that are going to be there? Wicked melodies, yeah, that's right. Keep on keeping on. But it got me thinking, what do I want to say to you guys? You know, this is the first time I'm going to be in the room with you. And I really want this to be an event. Sorry, that's that wind that's going to be picking up here. I really want this event to change some of your guys' lives. And that might sound like, hey, Bern, what's up, man? Haven't heard from you in a while. And Nick, what's going on? Some of your comments I can see and then going away. Let's see. Are there any libraries that pay up front, which would be great for people just starting? Yeah, there's definitely libraries that pay up front. They're called consideration fees. Not all of them do, but if they are going to do it, they're going to be an exclusive library. And we do recommend a few of them in SyncEdge. But yeah, there's still quite a few libraries that do that. And yes, certainly they're going to have some higher quality standards if they're going to start paying you up front to get your music out there. So that's absolutely right. But I want this event to really shake up your lives a little bit, even if it's in a tiny way. I think for some of you, hopefully it'll be in a much more major way. But For me, my responsibility, as I see it in this event, is not about the technical knowledge. You guys know I've got, 800, 900 videos on YouTube. I've got 120 plus hours of tutorials in Sync Academy. We've covered it, guys. Like, whatever technical knowledge you need to know about sync licensing, I've pretty much covered it. I mean, I'm sure there's a couple of issues here and there, but the technical stuff is not the problem. The technical stuff is never the issue. It's the mindset. It's the belief that you do belong in this business and that you will succeed and that you will find a home for your music and you will find great partners, great libraries to partner with. If you have that ability, you have that mindset, that carries you through every obstacle and every bit of quote unquote rejection. I don't think I should use that word anymore. I don't even like that word. But every path that you try to go down that seemingly gets blocked for you. And it's like, well, that library wasn't it, or that opportunity wasn't it. Burn, yes, there's definitely going to be a virtual ticket. So stay tuned. If you're not in our, I don't know, Burn, if you're still with us in Sync Academy or not, but if you're in Sync Academy, you get early bird rates right now. That's the whole deal. So if you're in the community, whether it's Sync Academy, Sync Edge, or Pro Feedback, you're getting basically up to 50% off on a lot of these tickets right now. And that ends this Wednesday, March 1st. So you got a couple of days basically to get those. March 1st, I will open up the tickets to everybody here on YouTube and just the internet in general. Prices will be a bit higher though. I'll explain that I'll put a video up on Wednesday. And yes, definitely a virtual ticket for all of you guys that cannot make it. And that virtual ticket will have an option, if you want to upgrade it, to submit your music to any music library CEO at this event and have a guarantee that they will listen to it, okay? Can't guarantee they're gonna take it. That's for them to decide. It's their business. You guys all understand that. But in their contracts, when I have them coming to this event and giving a guest speech, they have agreed to, in this contract, say, yes, whatever music you send me, Jesse, through this event, I will click on each link, I will listen to it, I will seriously consider it, and potentially sign. And you guys will be able to put your email address directly into the submission form. So if the library likes it, they reach out to you directly. I'm not in the middle of that, okay? I don't take any publishing, I don't take any writers, no consideration fees, no sync fees. I don't want to have anything to do with your guy. I'm busy enough, so trust me, I don't want to be in the middle. You guys will directly work with these libraries if they like what they hear. One of the common questions is, can I send music to multiple library CEOs? Yes, absolutely you can, with the caveat that you cannot send the same music to multiple library CEOs. Okay, so I don't want to see somebody who has a 10-track album, let's say, send the same 10 tracks to all 5 library CEOs. If I see that, and I'll be monitoring the submissions, I'll just delete all of your submissions. You won't get your music to anybody, okay? That's not respectful. That's not a way to approach this business in a professional way. And that's a real quick way to piss off people and make enemies on day one. So we're not gonna be doing that, right? You guys, if you've been following me for some time, you know that that's not the approach that gets you any results anyway. What you can do though, let's say you have 12 tracks. You can give 6 to one library CEO and offer 6 to another library CEO. I definitely recommend at least 6. I don't think you should be sending 2 tracks or 1 track or something like that. Whatever link you decide to send, it should be to your own, hopefully to your own website, something that looks really professional, and have all of your tracks ready to go in one streamable place right on your website. And you can definitely go to, if you have 50 tracks ready to go, you can send 10 to each different library CEO and see who likes what, but definitely not sending the same music to multiple library CEOs. So I want to be very clear on that. And then the other common question is, when can we send this music, and is there a deadline? And yes, the submission link will be made available on the day of the event, which is going to be June 3rd. So it's on a Saturday. So if you have a virtual plus ticket, that's what it's called when you get a virtual ticket that allows you to submit to the libraries. If you get a virtual plus ticket, you're going to get it emailed to you, as well as everybody in the room. If you buy any in-person ticket, whether it's the basic, premium, VIP, you're going to get that access as well. Everybody will be sent this private link. It's going to come in the form of a Google form, and you're going to be able to put in your name, your email address, maybe your phone number, and a link to your music, and a quick little 1-paragraph note about who you are, why you're submitting to this library CEO, giving them a little bit of an introduction to you. And then the deadline will be the Friday after the event, which I can't remember the date. I almost want to say it's the 11th, June 11th, but I don't have a calendar in front of me. Whatever that Friday is after that weekend event, sorry, it's not going to be that Friday. It's going to be the Sunday after that. So basically, you'll have a full week. The event will be June 3rd and 4th, Saturday and Sunday. You'll have that whole week and all the way up until Sunday, the end of the day, that following Sunday, to submit through that submission link. And then it will be officially closed off. And Monday morning, I fire off the submissions to those libraries. The reason why we're doing this way is because I do not want these library CEOs to come into the room and have, CDs, if anybody's handing out CDs anymore, and, USBs and business cards, and just handing these CEO guys just all this swag and having them hold on to it the whole time. It's just kind of a mess, and I know that's the fastest way to have them lose your demo, lose your information, and feel overwhelmed and feel the sense of like an obligation, like they need to do something with that stuff. So we're going to make it better for you and for the library CEOs. So when you use the submission link that you get with this event, it's going to be very clean, it's going to be very organized, and I get to, at the end, 1 week later, send one email to the library CEO, each one, and I say, here you go. Here's 20 people that are interested in working with you. Here's all their music, here's all their email addresses, here's all of their links in one, basically Google sheet. That's how it doesn't show up to them. And so it's clean, it's easy. It takes all the friction away from them. You don't want to hand a demo to somebody, they get in their car, it falls out as they're getting out of the car, and they never get it again, and then you don't know if they heard it or not. That's what we're getting away from with this event. Okay, this event, you're gonna get a guarantee, as long as you follow the instructions and submit your music by the deadline, you get a guarantee that these people are going to listen to your music and they're gonna hear it in the most professional way. Now it's up to you to present yourself in the most professional way. I can't do that for you. So if you have your own website, I think that's a big thumbs up. I think that makes you look a lot more professional than somebody that's just gonna send SoundCloud links or something else. So if you have something that looks really professional and you're very serious about working with these companies, I do recommend you do that. I still have that tutorial. I gotta create an update for it because I think Wix has changed its layout on how you create your website now, but I think there's still that option to just say let AI design it for me. But go to my YouTube channel and type in, create your website in 1 hour if you need to create a website. I know that was daunting for me when I first got started. It was like, I'm not a web designer. How do I make a website? I created a tutorial that is literally for kindergartners to follow. It's 1 hour long, and you don't have to be a designer. You can click a couple of buttons and it'll design it for you. It makes it clean, makes it look modern. It's easy, user-friendly. That's what you want when you're sending music to people. You don't want them to have to shuffle through a really noisy and chaotic website that looks like it's from 1998 with multiple links and like a book of your whole life. This is what you don't want to do. What you do want to do is have a single page on your website where it's a picture of you, professionally done, little intro about yourself, very short. You don't need to give them a book. And then music, streamed music. That's what you get with that Wix tutorial. So definitely go on my my channel and check that out if you'd like to. So let me see why I'm not seeing the chat. Maybe you guys are being quiet, or maybe I'm just not paying attention right now. Let me see. I think you guys are just being quiet because I'm not seeing anything come up. So if you guys have any questions about Sync Up, you're curious about some aspect of it, something you want to see, put in the chat. I'll be happy to answer. I can say a little bit more about it. Right now, we have, 4 guest speakers. 3 of them are music library CEOs. The 4th one is a client manager for Universal Production Music, which is, if you haven't heard of them, pretty much the biggest production music library on earth. And his job is to make sure his TV and film clients are happy with the music that he sends them. I really want to pick his brain. I think he's going to be a very valuable person to have at the event. I think it's going to be very insightful for us to know, how does the largest library in the world keep their clients happy? And what's cool about him is he is an old college buddy of mine. He actually was an old roommate too. And I love the guy. He's down in Mexico City. He'll join us virtually. He won't be there in person. But that's going to be an amazing interview. I'm actually just personally really interested in that because I've talked to him here and there, but we've never had a sort of a formal interview where I can just ask him these really, pointed questions about how they keep their clients happy. So, Pip, what's going on? Welcome. You're coming all the way from the UK, right? Yeah, it's a bit far for you. So you should get the virtual ticket. That's what I'm going to say to all of you guys that are out of the US, too far. Even if you're in the US, maybe on the East Coast, it's a bit hard. I know. Traveling right now, tickets, inflation, I know. You don't have to tell me. We're getting squeezed on every aspect of life right now. And I live in California, so you guys can imagine how I'm getting squeezed out here. So it's hard. That's why I created the virtual ticket for those of you that can't be there in person, but want to get insight. So let me go back to those guest speakers. So one of the guest speakers, as I said, was the Universal Music Client Manager. The other three are music library owners, and each of them are essentially going to, and my questions for them, I've already picked them out. I know I'm going to ask them. Let's say two of the three, I'm going to ask them what changes are happening in the industry right now in 2023. So what's coming up online that we as composers and producers need to know so that our music isn't just sitting on the shelves of a library? Like, what are your clients looking for? What changes to the music? And one of the library owners, AJ Gundel, who's an awesome dude, just a stand-up guy, he's primarily all about vocals and full songs with his catalog, Future Hits. And so I'm going to be picking his brain like crazy about what types of vocals are getting placed, what kinds of lyrical themes, how important is it to be catchy and have a memorable hook? How specific should some of the details be of lyrics? Should they be more broad and general? And just asking somebody directly about what they're doing, All right, Jonathan's asking, did you say buying the ticket includes, sorry, I lost your message. Let me get it back real quick. Includes the ability to send demo through that sheet you mentioned. Yes, so there's going to be two virtual ticket options, Jonathan. One is a basic one where essentially what you're going to be able to do is just stream the entire event live. And the other one, and you also get, and we're going to record the entire event. So if you can't make it, I know some of you guys are in different time zones where, you have to wake up at 2 a.m. to watch us live. I get it. It might be real tricky to do. It'll all be recorded and you guys will all get access to the recorded video. So even if you need to watch it later in the day or the next day, it'll all be recorded. Actually, I can't tell you that it'll be made available that weekend. I don't know if I have the bandwidth to do that. If I can get an assistant to help me out with some of that stuff, maybe. But I know for sure by like Monday or Tuesday, all the videos will be there. And I should say, no, you will be able to, because it's going to be a YouTube, basically a private stream. And once the event, we're going to just keep one stream for each day. There's going to be one stream for Saturday that just stays live all day, one stream for Sunday. I'll chop up the videos later and make them easier to find, but essentially, let's say you can't make it right when we start the event, just tune in whenever you can and you can scroll back, go forward wherever you want to. So that'll be there. So that's the basic virtual option right now. And then we have a virtual plus option. It's an optional upgrade where you will be able to get that submission link. And that's where you don't have to be in the room with us, but you get to watch the entire event. You get to watch our Q&A panel with these library CEOs. That's another really important part of this event. They're all going to be in the room, 5 or 6 of them. And we're basically going to take them hostage. we're going to keep them in the room as long as anybody in the room has questions for them. I will try to get some of your guys' virtual questions, but I cannot guarantee that I'll get to all of them because I think there's going to be hundreds of you watching virtually, and I'll only be able to get a couple of you guys in person. So that's going to be something that we have to kind of play by ear. But we're going to have this amazing panel where there's going to be 5 library CEOs where we're going to ask them any questions essentially we want, including those of you that are going to be in the room. You can say, hey, I make hip hop rock music. Do you need that? You can ask them questions like that. You can ask them anything that you feel that'll help you get an edge on working with them, submitting to them. And that's what this is about. It's about tearing down the kind of walls sometimes that feel like there's just this big barrier between us and music library CEOs. This event is sort of my step one in tearing that all down and trying to create a lot more communication between us and libraries, because I think there's a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of missed emails, a lot of not returned emails. It's an unfortunate part of our business. So I'm doing what I can to try to fix that a bit. And hopefully it gives you guys some sort of motivation and a feeling of access that this is possible for you. You guys can work with these libraries. So yes, long-winded answer. You can get a virtual ticket that also gives you the access to submit to music libraries, but that is the optional upgrade. So that's not going to be something that just comes with the basic one. But really, really good question. And that's why I created the virtual ticket like that, because I knew there'd be a lot of you. Sorry, I got to reset my daughter's little seatbelt there. I knew there'd be a lot of you guys that follow me from I look at my subscribers and I look at all that stuff, and it's like, I've got followers on every continent. It's crazy. I mean, I won't be shocked if I find that there's somebody in Antarctica that's following me. It's just crazy how far this YouTube channel has spread. And so I know there's a large number of you guys, in Canada and the UK and Europe and South America and everywhere. And I don't want you guys to feel like, well, because you couldn't fork out the extra money to travel here, you don't get to take part in some of the benefits of this event. So that's why I've intentionally created that virtual ticket for all of you guys that just can't make it. So don't worry about it. It's all right. You'll still get a lot of benefit from it. You'll still get to watch some amazing panels and be able to submit your music. So there's some amazing stuff for you guys to do there. And Chris is asking, Cigar Face is asking, is it going to be held in LA? Yes. And this is going to be held at a hotel near the LAX airport in Los Angeles. Reason for that is I know some of you guys that are going to be traveling for this, flying out, you might not have a lot of tolerance for flying in a plane, getting out, getting into an Uber, traveling all around the city, especially with traffic in LA. If you guys are not in LA, you'll know quickly how bad it gets. And so I know that can be stressful, especially from out of town. So the idea here is you fly into LAX, you get into an Uber or a cab, it's $5-10 at the most, and you're at the venue. You're gonna be at a hotel where you stay at the hotel. Our event will be downstairs in one of the conference rooms. That's what I need to go do some shopping and find out. And that's what also this early bird ticket run is about, is I need to see how many of you are actually gonna put your butts in the seats, because I can get a small intimate thing. I could maybe go for a larger one. It kind of depends on how many of you guys actually show up for it. So that's what a lot of this sort of, why is there a deadline? Like, why is there an early bird cutoff and all kind of stuff? It is arbitrary, but this is the first time I've ever planned an event like this. It is stressful. It's fun. It's a lot of fun, but there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of expectation to it. And I want to make sure that I get it right as much as I can. So what I need to do is get a rough idea early on how many of you are really going to put your money where your mouth is and actually show up. So once I get that number, I can decide what specific hotel it'll be, but it'll definitely be a hotel near LAX. I had a couple of more questions here. Let me pop those back up. Jonathan, have you announced the prices on the virtual tickets yet, or is that still yet to come? Yes. So right now, Jonathan, if you are in Sync Academy, Sync Edge, or Pro Feedback, virtual tickets right now are $49, the basic one. If you want to upgrade it so that you can submit to the Music Library CEOs, that's just another $49. So it's about $100, and you get to stream it, watch it, replay it, and submit your music to any library CEO you want. Now that's, again, you have to be, that's just a discount for members right now. That's Sync Academy, Sync Edge, or Pro Feedback. So if you're on our platforms, I've blasted those links all over the platforms. I've emailed you guys. So you have access to it if you're inside of the platform. You just got to go in there and check it out. On March 1st, this Wednesday, that price is going to go up to $100, okay? I haven't decided if I'm going to also tick up the upgrade option. So I'm still uncertain about that. But for right now, for sure, your basic virtual ticket, just to stream it, will be $100 on March 1st. And we'll see. I don't know how I'm feeling about yet upping the sort of virtual plus option. It might stay at $49 to submit your music to libraries. I might crank it up, double that as well. I don't know. So we're going to see how that's going on March 1st. So I am doing just this early bird discount for members only because, like I said before, I got to see the numbers. I got to get some sort of tickets coming in, and I got to also know what my budget is. I actually reached out to one venue just to kind of dip my toe in the water to find out what they're going to charge, and it's a lot. At least the first price they gave me for a 2-day rental was like multiple thousands of dollars. So I was like, okay. So I'm going to definitely push back on them. Don't worry. I'm not going to take the first offer. So, but it was an eye opener of like, this is not going to be a cheap event. This is, and especially because I want to go to a nice place, guys. I don't want it to be in some dingy back room where it's kind of poorly lit and we don't feel entirely safe. I want it to be a nice, classy hotel, nice, classy atmosphere. Everybody feels comfortable. You know, it has a nice restaurant in it. That'll be an important part for those of you that are going to do the VIP. We're going to go have dinner in the hotel. So I want to eat a good meal. I want to have some good drinks too. So I want to do it right. I want to do it classy. But it's not cheap. And I'm also, last night as I was like trying to figure out, okay, what equipment do I need to do this? I need to buy a lot of stuff. Like, I don't have a portable computer that can stream like as high quality as I want to stream. So I got to figure out, do I need to go buy literally a nice new MacBook Pro, or can I transfer? I have a nice, I just got a new Mac Mini M2, which I'm really happy with. Do I need to maybe just get a tiny monitor, bring that along? Microphones. I do have the PA speakers, and I do have a little PA thing that I think should work, and so that's fine. But there's a lot of stuff I need, microphone stands, and and obviously all the swag. Oh, that's one thing I didn't mention either. So if you guys show up in person, you're definitely getting a t-shirt. I'm going to put together some cool t-shirts. You're going to get a cool swag bag. I will hopefully put in some amazing stuff in there for you. And then the next thing I'm going to do after I get sort of the idea of how many of you are showing up by March 1st, next step is to go try to get some sponsors for this, because I think we could get some really great companies that are basically companies that we all use that help us in our journeys to secure income with sync licensing, that might want to be visible through this kind of thing. And hopefully, one idea I have, I hope some of them will go for it, is to have them potentially, put some cool gifts in our little swag bags at the event. At least that's what I hope. We'll see what they're able to provide and what can be done there. So that's what you guys get when you guys are showing up. You're getting some cool extra goodies. But again, it takes a lot. It's not cheap, and it's a lot of work for sure. But I'm dedicated to this. I'm definitely doing it. There's no chance this thing is going to, like I was saying in one of the previous videos, especially for the early bird tickets, I said, if for any reason this event gets canceled, I'll refund everybody. And I just say that just to be extra cautious, because we've never done it before. You just never know. But literally, a meteor would have to fall out of the sky and hit me in the head for me not to do this. I want you guys to know that, like, it's going to happen. Okay, there's no reason why this is not going to happen. I'm a type of person when I get the idea, when I set my mind to it, it just gets done. There's really no debating. There's no, I just decided it's too much work. Like, at this point in the process, we're in. Like, I'm all in, and I'm going 100% at this, and this is going to be a huge endeavor, and a really exciting endeavor for me to take part in. And I hope that it's so successful that it becomes an annual thing. We can do it every year. And for all of you guys that don't live close to LA, we can move it, right? Like next year, the second largest request for a city was Nashville. Why couldn't we go to Nashville next year and do it, right? I think New York was another one. We definitely have some of you from the UK and England and Europe. That'll be, that might be a couple years down the road, I'll be honest. That's going to be a little bit more difficult to do that kind of an event. I don't know if I have that large of an audience over there, but you never know, right? You got to start somewhere. So I'm starting local. I'm starting in the city that actually had the number one requested city when I put out a poll a few months ago about this. And I love it that I can just drive to it. I don't have to worry about getting in a plane and shipping all my equipment anywhere. I can literally just pack it all up in my car, drive, and get to this hotel and set it up and all that good stuff. So I think it's going to be a great event. It's going to be really, really cool just to meet you guys. I've been talking to you for so many years now. Since 2016, I've had this channel. And I've never met any of you guys. I met a couple of you. I'm not gonna say I've never met any of you, but rarely is there a situation where I've ever met up with somebody, one of our, if you're a subscriber or a Sync Academy member. It's just, we've been all online, and I was about to do this. I was actually about to put out together an in-person event, right? It was literally like I was putting out polls and starting to get a feel for it, like in February of 2020. Like, we were just like, I wonder if we should do an in-person event. It's been about that, we've been doing this for a couple of years. Maybe we should get together. And obviously you guys know what happened in 2020. So that all went out the window. So now it feels like the world has opened up and we can travel and we can, go back to our lives. So this is the time. I've decided this is definitely the time where we need to get together, hang out, and really just have fun. This is definitely going to be, of course, educational. The primary purpose of this is to help you guys get connected to libraries, get contracts, get your music out there, learn, discover, network, create friendships. But above all of that, guys, it's about having fun. Like, if we're not having fun with this, we're not doing it right. I was just reflecting the other day that I had this realization that, like, now that I have actually two daughters, and one's 2 years old and one's basically like 2 months old. And for those of you that are fathers out there, you guys can relate to, like, it's, what food should they be eating, or what school will I eventually put them in, and what clothes should they wear, and how much activity should they get every day, and how much screen time is too much. And it's just this constant, like, am I doing enough? Am I doing okay? Am I giving the best to my kids? Am I doing all that I could as a father? And the realization I had the other day was like, all that stuff is important, Of course, I care about it, but it's not important. It's not as important as me just enjoying and having fun with my kids. Like, that's actually way more important than the food she's eating and the school she goes to and whether or not she's getting too much screen time every day. Like, all that stuff, of course, it makes a difference. But I realized, like, what if if I spent my whole time with my kids as they're young and I'm just like stressing the whole time. Oh my God, you're watching too much screen time. You're not getting enough of this. You need to eat better. And I'm just stressing and I'm uptight about everything. And I'm never silly with them. I'm never having fun. I'm never just being in the moment with them. But I give them all the best, right? I give them the best school. I give them the best food. I give them the best clothes. I give them the best blah, 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 blah. You run down the list, everything you could possibly do. But I'm not having fun with them. Is that a childhood I want to give my kids? It's like, hell no, of course not. I would rather have a lot of fun, just present time with them, enjoying them and enjoying myself being with them. And all that other stuff is just kind of like noise in the background, because nothing's going to be perfect. They're not going to get a perfect diet. They're not going to have a perfect education. There's no such thing as like getting it all right. You guys know that if you guys are dads. But if I can learn how to just enjoy my time with them and like being around them and and just loving to watch them grow and develop, then we're going to have an amazing relationship for their entire lives and the rest of my life, right? And that goes back to this event, that this stuff's important, you know, working with a library, meeting the right people, putting the right music together. Like, these are all important things. But if we're not having fun, we're not enjoying each other's company, we're not, you know, it's not an enjoyable process, what's the point of any of it? Sure, you'll get tons of placements. You might make tons of money. You might work with some of the biggest libraries out there, and you'll be miserable the entire time. You'll just hate life the entire time because you'll be so focused on the results, so focused on the money, so focused on placements, on prestige, on whatever, right? And you guys all get this. I think I'm preaching to the choir here, but you know, I really want to keep that as our top priority for this event. It should be fun. Like, we should be laughing. We should be hanging out. We should be getting drinks. We should be enjoying food together. We should be just at the end of it go like, that was just a fun weekend, right? You'll learn a lot, of course. That'll just come naturally. But you really should feel like it was a fun, almost like a party atmosphere. That's kind of what I'm going with this. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So I'm gonna let you guys go now. Getting a little hot. I'm gonna definitely go take a break here. I've been walking around for quite a while, but I feel a lot better. Thank you guys for being here. And if you have any further questions about Sync Up or anything like that, go ahead and post it below. I'll be happy to answer anything I can. Again, just stay tuned. March 1st, if you guys are not in our platforms, that's the day that you can get your ticket, whether it's virtual or in person. So yeah, looking forward to meeting many of you guys. Even if you can't be there, I can't wait to see you on the live stream in that chat room when we do our live broadcast for the event.